I have never completed Fallout New Vegas before. Frankly, I haven't even gotten close. I've tried this game twice, but I also ended up uninstalling it twice. Either it was way too buggy or I was harassed in the comment section. But since the second season of the show drops right around the corner, I figured it's time to finally play this game for real. In this video, you will see my entire journey through this massive RPG for the first time ever, start to finish. This video will be one of the biggest projects I've ever attempted on this channel. Over 38 hours of gameplay edited down to hopefully an hour or so, and at the very end, I will give my honest, unbiased review, and we'll find out if it's just nostalgia or if New Vegas really is that good. We start off with a bullet in our skull delivered by this dude in the checkered jacket. We're told we're a courier of the Mojave Express, and our last delivery, well, didn't end so well. We wake up on a bed to the soothing sounds of General Tullius, Doc Mitchell, and create our character. Perfect name, Ben Quadranaros, man. My goat. Best pod racer we've seen on this side of Tatooine. The only other thing I've been told is to not make a stat 10 because there's like implants like in Cyberpunk and they can increase your stats. I have no idea what build I'm going for here, but I know I want to go to the casino, so I'm jacking up my luck. For traits, I go skilled, so you don't yell at me in the comments, again, and good-natured. Unless I'm stupid, this seems incredibly powerful if your plan is to only use one type of weapon. In my case, that would be guns. Lots of guns. I say hello to the robot dude who apparently saved me and start the tutorial. Slime some geckos, get some reputation, make some crap, fix a radio, and check in on our pal Ringo. I decide to help Ringo despite him asking me to play that godforsaken card game and recruit as many members of the town as I can. Plug some shells into the powder gangers, and it's time to move on to the next area. I do not take Swift Learner. You guys told me this is a noob trap perk, and I'm something of a Swift Learner myself, so I didn't get it. In my opinion, Confirmed Bachelor just seems overpowered. 10% extra damage to all male NPCs, which in any Bethesda game is like 90% of the combat encounters. It does make you gay, but oh no, my steak is too juicy and my lobster is too buttery. I'm all in, man, and I definitely will be with this perk. Before heading to the next area, I do some exploring. New Vegas doesn't have the Skyrim thing where it actually marks POIs as clear if you've done them, so my OCD brain basically has to do everything I come across or else I'm going to start tweaking. If my New Vegas looks weird or anything, I'm playing on Viva New Vegas with just the bug fix profile. 5,000 people voted, and 70% said this is the best way to play. If you're curious and want to try for yourself, I'll link the mod pack in the description. It takes like 2 seconds to set up. Anyway, I learned the hard way I can't go north straight to Vegas. Oh my god, why are these flies so tough? What? Those were just flies. All right, let's try one more time. If I can't do it, it's probably by design. This is probably higher level enemies and stuff, but, you know, worth a shot. Okay, I don't do any damage. Got one. No. Okay, yeah, I don't think I can go this way. Okay, well, I think Victor coming all the way out here telling me I shouldn't be here is a pretty good indicator that this isn't the way to go. Help me, Victor! Help me! Help me! Victor! And I died to poison or something. I don't even know how I died. All right. Fuck that. We're going the normal way, I guess. Heading to Primm, I speak with the NCR, kill some more powder gangers, and learn a little bit more about my character's backstory and how someone declined the package I delivered. Weird, but we need to rescue the town's deputy and do so with style. Oh my god, his eyeball came out. Ew. Once the deputy is safe, he asks me to find a suitable sheriff for the town. With some light thievery, I'm able to construct my first companion. There's several options you can pick to be the sheriff, but I chose to scope out the prison and free someone with experience. Yeah, so that was the guy I was supposed to talk to. I didn't know that, and despite this very obvious pop-up, I spend about an hour here clearing it out before I realize my mistake. Okay, so I've been walking around here for about an hour clearing out the prison. I don't think there's anything left for me to explore, so I looked it up, and yeah, the Myers guy was who the ex-sheriff was, who was immediately aggressive to me and I killed. So I guess we have to find another solution. I had already leveled up twice at this point, got some great weapons and loot, and I didn't feel like reloading, so I'm off to jam my fingers into this robot to reprogram it. This task only requires a skill check of 30 science. There's a quest this dude has about a missing machine gun, but you need 60 science. That's a bit far away from me for now, but we'll return here at a later date. I want to make sure I do everything possible around Primm before moving on. Unfortunately, this requires me to interact with Fallout New Vegas's open world. I may be biased as an Elder Scrolls player, but the amount of content the player can do in, say, 1 square kilometer is unbelievably worse in the Fallout series. 3 was pretty bad, but New Vegas is not much better. Oh look, a pile of garbage. Oh look, a pile of garbage. Oh look, a pile of garbage and a naked man. If you took 10 points of interest in the Elder Scrolls, 8 of them have content to complete. Either it's a dungeon, there's an elite enemy with cool loot, a unique item to collect, maybe there's a quest or a lore book. Fallout? 3 out of 10 points of interest are worth doing. Maybe. Most of these locations you can't even interact with. Why was this train station boarded up? Was it too much effort to let the player go inside and maybe find a computer with some story content on it? This, like many points of interest in Fallout, are facades. They're built to give you the impression the world is more developed than it is. Normally, I would write this off as an age thing. New Vegas is very old, but Oblivion doesn't have this. Morrowind doesn't have this. I get it's a wasteland, dude, but coming at this RPG with no nostalgia, this open world is dead. No pun intended. After 36 hours, there are great areas with great content to do, but most of the open world sucks. Anyway, I spent about an hour walking around and shooting random enemies. The only thing of note is I accidentally almost walked into a DLC area and there was one dungeon. Just listen to how overjoyed I was to find this. Oh my god, it's a cave. Like maybe a dungeon, actually. Finally. That looks like a cave. That looks like something to do. Please let me go inside. Please let me go inside. Yes! No quest or story here, but there was a weird bottle cap, and a dude popped out of thin air to explain what those are. If I collect all these special caps, the legend says it'll lead me to some hidden treasure. He also explains how vending machines are always impossibly stocked in a nuclear wasteland, so that put my mind at ease for one plot hole. After doing literally everything in a radius around Primm, I returned to find some no-good ruffians. They're trying to intimidate me for some caps, and I peacefully negotiate my way out. They get aggressive, again, but unfortunately for them, Ben Quadranaro stands on his motherfucking business. Now that they're dead, the casino opens, and I get to my favorite part of this game, gambling. Turns out, luck is very useful for blackjack. I wish gambling in real life was like this. Double down. Oh, baby. So useful, I get kicked out for being too good. You have been banned from gambling at this casino. I've never seen that in this game before.
Sorry, you just win too much.
It's just like real life when they kick you out for winning too much. Damn, that kind of sucks. Like, I put in so much work to get this place operational again, and they kick me out. What a tragedy. On our path to the next town is the NCR Outpost. I want to make sure I don't piss off any of the major factions so I can do the Yes Man story. You guys commented a lot that it's one of the best ways to beat the game. I didn't even know this was a quest path, so that'll be 100% new for me. I really don't want to mess up this story arc, so I'm going to try my best not to burn any bridges until I get to New Vegas. Too late for the Powder Gangers though, kinda wiped those guys off the map already. Anyway, the NCR has a few missions you can do here for the surrounding area. I killed some bugs, killed some bigger bugs, then some dogs. Got asked to check out a nearby town only to find it overrun by ancient Roman cosplayers. These dudes overran the town and held a lottery. The winner, who we already met, got to live.
Smell that air! Couldn't you just drink?
Everyone else just got killed in one way or another, except for this dude.
Are you fucking kidding me? First I get my leg smashed, and then in walks the Powder Ganger's Grim fucking Reaper. What the fuck have you got against us, man?
That's pretty cool that he knows that I am basically Jack the Ripper for the powder gangers. I looted every building in this town, and there was some cool stuff. However, inside the town hall, we uncover the story of the mayor who sold the town out for caps. Little did he know he would be subject to the same fate as them. We actually found a note from him in a previous area near the outpost, hinting he had a secret stash with supplies. We do end up finding it, but my lockpicking isn't high enough to break in. Now that we've cleared most of this side of the map, it was time to move on to Novac. I found this weird nuclear testing site with some really tough enemies. No! Those guys are really hard. No, I was so close! I should have healed. Oh my god, I was so close. Okay, we did it. We got all of them. Is Eddie dead? No, Eddie! Oh! He's chill. He's alive. The Diary of a Person Who Wanted to Become a Ghoul, my first unique weapon, and I got poisoned by a pack of dogs. But I have done so much looting, I need to dump my inventory, so I just beeline it to Novac and say hello to Victor. He's on his way to New Vegas, although he doesn't know why he's compelled to go there. I sell my crap and speak with Manny, who wants me to check out a nearby rocket testing site. I've done this quest before, but was curious to see the super mutant side of it, so I make sure to stay hidden and not aggro the roaming enemies, and was able to get them to leave peacefully. Now that they're gone, the ghouls can head down to the basement and begin their journey to the next world. We find a computer with some lore on it telling us this rocket facility was purchased by Robco. I recognize that name from the TV show. I didn't know this guy was Mr. House at the time, but it is an interesting bit of world building for someone who knows almost nothing about the universe. Especially since as soon as it was bought by Robco, they started shipping in military-grade equipment, some of which the scientists used to peep on others while invisible. Anyway, we have to get a few bits and bobs to get the ghouls' rockets up and running, and after doing that, we break the news to Chris that he is in fact human. This game really wants you to sabotage the rockets. You have to go through like 8 dialogue screens to talk him down, but if you do, he's declared a saint by the ghouls and blast off safe and sound. Manny then gives me all the details I need on Benny, the guy who put a bullet in my skull, but before heading off, we got some work to do. I explore almost the entirety of this corner of the map, even the heavily irradiated zones. Luckily, we found a hazmat suit during the last mission, so I can check out the more dangerous areas. In classic Fallout fashion, most are nothing burgers, but there were a few places during this expedition I want to highlight. In the very corner of the map, there's an army of elite robots. These guys killed me. A lot. Oh shit. What is happening? But with the use of all of my explosives, stim packs, and plasma grenades, I was actually able to clear them out. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh my god, you're so slow in this game. That should have killed me. That missile literally went under my leg. Oh my god, I'm 1 HP. No! Oh, I thought I died. Oh my god, I think I did it. In hindsight, this wasn't worth it. I lost so many resources in this fight, including ammo, but I did get a massive energy weapon, which unfortunately I'm not super great with. There we go. It's very inaccurate. I mean, obviously my build is quite poor for energy weapons, but that would be cool if I was going energy weapon build. I explore an airport which had absolutely nothing of significance and a nearby town. This town of Camp Searchlight has a few buildings you can enter. There's one in the middle, the fire station, which I needed a key for, so maybe I'll have to come back to that later. Anyway, there's a shit ton of ghouls here, and it was interesting to note that they regenerate health in irradiated areas. These ghouls are ex-NCR members. Not completely sure the story here, but I really wanted to find out. After about half an hour of investigating, all I did find was a dude scrounging around in the basement of a church. No quests or anything, but at least it was someone to talk to. There was also a dog, and he was super cute, but this garbage game didn't let me keep him. Very good dungeon here, Brockflower Cave. Big, interesting design, cool unique weapon at the end with some mad scientist environmental storytelling. Probably the best open world dungeon I've done so far in these 10 hours, and yeah, we're 10 hours in. The map is lit up like a Christmas tree because I've basically done everything possible. Regardless, we're off to Boulder City, but before we get there, this video took me over 60 hours to make, and if you guys want to see more like this, please consider liking and subscribing. YouTube recently took away ad-blocked views, so it's harder for content creators to gauge interest. For your safety, you should be using an ad block, no judgment here, but your view is technically counted as artificial. Your likes still work though. I've heard New Vegas has some of the best DLC Bethesda has ever released, and if this video hits 15,000 likes, I'll play them. Let me know in the comments what DLC is best to start with and how long they take, because I could do multiple in one video or I could split them up. Anyway, thank you for your time and consideration. Let's get back to the video. Once we get to Boulder City, we have to approach this as tactfully as possible. We don't want to anger anyone or mess up our reputation with any faction, so we go, hey, post-editing Frostbreak here. So I keep saying this, that I'm trying to manage the reputation of these factions, but at a certain point in the main story, everything you've previously done against them is wiped, you get a clean slate. I didn't know that. This is my first time playing through the game to completion, so don't bully me. From this interaction, we learn exactly where Benny is, save the hostages, and head on over to New Vegas. I come across something called the Crimson Caravan Company, which I briefly remember from Goodsprings, and when I enter, I'm met with a familiar face. Oh, it's Ringo! I decide to do some honest work before losing my money at the next casino and pick up a slip to deliver to the NCR. Little did I know, I was about to embark on one of the coolest side quests of this entire run. When we get to Camp McCarran, we speak with a scientist who asks if we're here to investigate Vault 22. We lie and say, of course that's why we're here, and he fills us in on the backstory. Vault 22's experiment was to tinker with vegetation to consume as little water as possible while producing food at a heightened rate. There are rumors the scientists in this vault were successful, but something went wrong. He wants us to investigate the vault and download the data the scientist discovered so he can replicate the experiment. On our way out, we're approached by another scientist. She says I'm like the 50th mercenary the doctor dude has sent down into this vault, and none have ever returned. The last one was named Keely, and she thinks she's still trapped inside. We investigate the vault, and I immediately fall in love with the environment here. Damn. Yeah, this looks cool, okay? This is what I've been expecting. Oh my god, we're gonna get some lore. Keely. Okay, this is the scientist we're supposed to be looking for. I can hear like whispering. There's like some weird, ghastly stuff. Oh my god. Are those Venus flytraps? What is that? It's like a demon, bro. What is this? That is one of the creepiest things I think I've ever seen in Fallout. Finally found some of the bodies of the scientists that lived here. Okay, so those green demon things are the scientists that used to live here. Dude, this area is just so cool. But like the vaults and like the experiments and this vegetation, like I wish the whole game was like this. Okay, this is like the same design as the vaults from Fallout 3, and that's the Overseer's office, right? So if there's a computer I need to access, it's probably in there. We find the keys to the Overseer's office and open the locks to the data center and download the files. Deeper beyond the vault, Keely is trapped in a cave system. We help her back inside, but she tells us one of the byproducts of this rapid growth vegetation is poisonous spores. It's why all the people in this vault died. If the spores get into the air outside, it could be catastrophic for the human population. We have to then destroy the spores, which is easier said than done. Oh, that's the gas right there. You can see the little effect, okay? Well, let's see how this goes. All right, we need to back up. I have 18 dynamite. Hopefully that will work. Whoa! Oh, could I lock myself in a room? Okay, well that worked. Now we have to decide if we delete this data or return it to the scientist. This was such a great quest with a unique environment, loads of readable lore in the computers, and fantastic subtle storytelling. There are a few more gems I'll cover like this later in the video, but this was a breath of fresh air from the dozens and dozens of other useless places I visited so far. Now, it's New Vegas time, baby. Of course, I have to start with a little bit of gambling at the Atomic Wrangler. Oh, Atomic Wrangler jackpot. Sorry, but you have reached the jackpot limit, but feel free to explore the other services. Ah, After making some cash and doing the Atomic Wrangler quests, we head to the Strip and meet Victor once again. He says Mr. House is expecting to meet with us, but my eyes are set on another machine man. We beeline it to Benny's casino and return the favor he so graciously gifted us at the start of the game. Oh my god, decapitated. Next time, don't miss. You piece of shit. Now that he's dead with no witnesses, we have free roam of the place. Takes me a while to find Yes Man, but now the real story begins. Yes Man explains that Benny created him to spy on Mr. House to get insight on his plans, hence why we were shot for carrying the platinum chip. Yes Man was able to decrypt that message and Benny intercepted us. We now have the platinum chip after ripping it from Benny's cold dead hands, but the only way to let Yes Man use it is to kill or disable Mr. House. Luckily for me, I have an invitation into the Lucky 38. Okay, yeah, we do not do a lot of damage. No! Okay, another idea. What happens if I use a stealth boy? Does this work? Or do his robots have thermal sight? They do not. Okay, they don't see me yet. Okay, this is working, this is working. Look at that. Easy peasy. One stealth boy? No problem. No problem. Look at us go all sneaky with our top hat and suit. I can pickpocket Mr. House. What do you think he has on him? Sterilize the chamber. Oh my god. I did not think that would explode him. Well, man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Mr. House is out of the picture.
You already took care of Mr. House? Wow, you work fast.
We install Yes Man into the House's systems, and we're up and running. With the Platinum chip, he's able to upgrade the Securetrons to do some pretty crazy stuff, but there's another army of these robots buried under the Legion's main settlement. Time to accept Kaisar's invitation. We head to Fortification Hill, which definitely earns the name, and have a chat with the old man. He gives us permission to examine the bunker, under the assumption I'm destroying the Securetrons down there. Little does he know, I'm about to unleash hell on these fuckers. Uh-oh, radiation. Hold on. Throw on my suit. Oh my god, I just exploded that robot. Oh yeah, look at all the Securo... Oh my god, look at how many are in here! I feel like Palpatine when the clone army is below him and they're boarding onto the Venators. This is the Securetron Operations Console. Let's go. Big updates for the boys. After installing the chip, I guess these robots are mine now. They don't do anything yet, so I assume they're a set piece for later in the story. Now, I have a long list of minor factions and tribes to chat with to see if they'll make a good fit for my new empire.
Your new empire?
To start off, we're going to begin with the Brotherhood of Steel, and to do that, we're going to need to pick up Veronica. The amount of comments I've gotten about this lady and her questline is unreal, so we say goodbye to Eddie and head out with her. However, right beside Veronica's original location is Vault 11. This place has a fantastic little story about their specific experiment. The members of this vault have to vote for a new overseer every year, but once their tenure is up, they're sent to a sacrificial chamber where they're killed. All the citizens are told if they fail to sacrifice someone, everyone in the vault will die. And as you go deeper into this bunker and uncover more clues, eventually you yourself discover the sacrificial chamber. Always a good idea to walk down into something called sacrificial chamber. That sounds great.
Please proceed to the light.
This is kind of cool, like music and atmospherically and stuff. Whoa! What happened?
Welcome. Please sit in the chair. The show is about to begin.
What the hell is going on in this place?
Can you see them? Good.
Uh-oh. What? Oh my god. That seems a little overkill for one potentially unarmed person down here. Oh shit! This took me a few tries and half my medical supplies, but at the end we discovered the citizens finally said no to the vault and refused to sacrifice a person. Turns out, This was all just a little prank, and they were never in threat of death at all. If you ever needed more proof that I have no idea what I'm doing in this game, I pick one of the worst perks I think I've ever seen in any video game ever. I want to speak to the person who designed junk rounds. I just want to talk.
I just want to talk to him.
What the fuck were you thinking? 5 tin cans for 1 bullet. Just stick it in, dude. You can't fuck me harder than this. I didn't notice how bad this was until about half an hour later, so I'm just stuck with this garbage. Anyway, we're off to find the Brotherhood of Steel, and since we have Veronica in our party, she's able to get us in. This whole Brotherhood chapter is on lockdown by the Order of the Elder, but he's given me permission to come and go if I help them with some tasks. He wants me to recover classified holotapes off 3 missing scouting groups. However, as I'm on my way out, I'm stopped by the head paladin claiming that the Elder is leading to the destruction of the Brotherhood by keeping them locked inside. The player is then given a choice to either side with this dude or the Elder. And since I'm trying to recruit an army, not a group of hermits, I decide to help the paladin. I have to solve a terminal puzzle to track down a virus, gather some hot gossip around the bunker, and slowly gain access to more classified information. We learn about a concept called the chain that binds, which basically makes it illegal for higher-ups to issue orders to people multiple levels below them on the hierarchy. Everything has to go through the proper chain of command. The holotapes found on the dead scout's body prove the Elder disobeyed this rule and is enough proof for the head paladin to assume command of this chapter. We're given one last quest to do. Clear out a group of energy weapon merchants, which proved a little bit harder than anticipated, but nothing a stealth boy can't solve. Oh my god, stealth boys are so OP, dude. I was literally just walking around in here and they couldn't do anything to me. We are now a paladin of the Brotherhood and can finally use some of that beautiful power armor. I also gave some to Veronica, so now we're dripped out. There's a couple more factions we need to talk with before we can finish this quest for Yes Man. 2 of them, the Boomers and the Omertas, I've already fully completed in a previous video. I still interact with them on this run, you have to for this quest, but if you want my TLDR, the Omertas mission fucking sucks. Not because the content is bad, it's actually kind of a dark and twisted story, but because the building is a nightmare to navigate. The Boomers I enjoyed. It's a little too fetch questy at the start, but the finale with the plane and their story with Vault 34 is pretty neat. The Brotherhood of Steel, Great Khans, and White Glove Society, I've never done the stories before, hence why they're going to get more screen time in this video. That's all new content for me. Obviously, if you pay attention to the introduction of this game, you should have some idea who the Great Khans are. The Brotherhood of Steel plays a pretty important role in Fallout 3, which I also tried, but the White Glove Society, I have never heard of before. So, they're next on my list to check out. The White Gloves take residence on the Las Vegas Strip in the Ultra Luxe Casino. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary. I play some blackjack, get a key to a room there, but eventually stumble across a distraught father looking for his son. His son took up residence in this hotel and has mysteriously vanished. They were supposed to meet today, but he suspects something has gone wrong. We investigate a little further to be snubbed by most of the staff. Luckily, the owner there tells us there was another missing persons case a few days ago. A bride-to-be vanished the day before her wedding.
And will never consume human flesh for any reason.
What?
It's written in the charter.
Human flesh? How's she talking about? An investigator showed up to check the bride's disappearance, but when we check on him, this happens. I think these people might be up to no good. Go, Veronica, get him! I can't pull up my weapons or else everyone's gonna attack me. Nice job. You have equipped faction armor. Faction armor disguises you as a member of that faction. Aha! Maybe we can uncover more things being disguised as one of them. Clearly, something sinister is at play here. There's something this White Glove Society doesn't want me to know. On the dead detective lays a note. Steam room, 4 p.m. In this room resides the mole, a man named Chauncey who was roped into a plot far sinister than what he expected. Chauncey is a member of the White Glove Society, but signed up for an exclusive club for what he thought was just talk about politics. Rather, it was a club to discuss regressing back to the old ways of this society, back to cannibalism. Apparently, Apparently, there's a bit of history here, and the White Gloves got their start as a cannibalistic cult. Chauncey basically tells us that we have to pull another Dark Brotherhood gourmet mission from Skyrim and pose as the chef. However, this time we're going to oust the cannibals in front of the other members of the faction who don't agree with the practice. We take down the chef, free the son, and whip up a dish of fake human meat. After the cannibal ringleader Mortimer gets outed in front of his group, he tries to make a mad dash. Get back here! Get back here! Fuck you, Mortimer, piece of shit. Yeah, I saved you all. You all were about to eat human, but I stopped it. We're thanked by the leaders of the White Glove Society for stopping this madman and return the son to his father. One more faction to go. Before we do that, we head to Yes Man to turn in the progress we have so far. I know for a fact I beat the Brotherhood of Steel story and have a great standing with them, but there's no option to let them join me. The White Glove Society, which I just did, does have an extra option, so either I did something wrong or you simply can't unite all these minor factions like I thought. Regardless, all we have left to take care of is the cons. On our way to their base of operations, we uncover Vault 3. I was able to trick these morons into thinking I was a great con myself, so they just let me pass and explore the whole thing.
We have a con coming through to see the boss. Don't shoot at him.
They consider me a con? In Brotherhood of Steel armor? Alright. I honestly couldn't find anything of interest about this vault. I left no stone unturned, I read everything, I spoke to every named NPC. I didn't find any evidence of a weird and wacky experiment, and when talking to the leader of the Fiends, he literally just says he killed them all. So I returned the favor. Maybe my sneak was high enough, but they literally didn't care at all that I was cranking their skulls in left, right, and center. Oh, I also freed some captives in the middle too. We finally make our way to the Valley of the Great Khans. Since I negotiated a peace with them and the NCR a while back, they're pretty friendly with me. Unfortunately, they're about to ally with Caesar, which is very bad for me. And them. I'm tasked with speaking to all the council members of the Khans to convince them the Legion is no good. I also have to rage bait the Legion emissary into shit-talking the Khans, which they clean up for me. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too difficult about this one. Oh, except for this. Uh-oh. Man, stealth boys are so useful. Whoa, what do you mean? How do they see me? Okay, I don't know what that is, but that is huge. And it detected me somehow. Great. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh god. Oh no. I wonder if these guys would help me take on the Mother Deathclaw. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Veronica's running this way. Alright, get ready guys. I need to get in like a glitch spot where the Deathclaw won't be able to hurt me. I was able to jump onto a little excavator and slowly chip away at the boss as her AI struggled to find a path to me. After taking her down, I loot her and uncover some eggs, which I guess I can sell for some caps, and a pretty little new toy. Alright, let's see how this bad boy fares against Deathclaw. Yeah, this thing shreds. That does a lot of damage. With all the Great Khans convinced not to join the Legion, I tell Papa Khan he can make a new legacy for him and his clan if they move out of the Mojave. Was hoping maybe they would get to join me, but oh well. The 5 pieces of the puzzle have been complete. I turn in the last side quest to Yes Man to await my new orders. He says I can do one of 2 things: save the president of the NCR or plug in a USB key to a power station. I feel like these are pretty unrelated. I should be able to do both, but I did the USB thing first and instantly failed the other mission, so I guess the president got JFK'd off screen or something. The next thing I have to do is recruit the Followers of the Apocalypse, which is a group of scientists and doctors to help manage some of the fallout. Heh, get it? Fallout? Anyway, to help manage some of the injuries after the attack on the dam. Didn't even know these guys were a thing, so that's kind of cool. They have a few quests to complete. One is to sober up some workers by cutting off their dealer. We also have to establish a supply line for the followers. The first people I go to don't have the ability to do it, but what they do have is a secret room full of crazy-ass guns. Probably could have used these caps to help the people of Freeside, but hey, every man has needs, okay? Anyway, we chat with the lad at the Atomic Wrangler who I've already done some quests for. In exchange for some science tips to help improve their alcohol production, they offer to supply the followers with whatever they need. We now have everything lined up and ready to go and hit the point of no return. I'm over 28 hours into this run right now. I have done so much shit, but there's still a lot to do. One of the most requested side quests for me to do on my last video was I Could Make You Care, Veronica's companion quest. Spoiler alert, but this does take you to one of the few vaults I have yet to explore, and I want to make sure I see all of them before I end this run. Veronica's quest starts after she realizes the Brotherhood of Steel is failing. They've been underground for far too long and don't stand a chance against the other factions of New Vegas. We go back to her bunker and she tries to convince the Elder to abandon the old ways and evolve with the times, to no avail. She believes, however, he could be convinced if she provides their way of life is under threat, and to do that, she needs to speak the Brotherhood's language. Technology. There are 3 items we could gather for this mission. However, in our case, there's only one. As I've previously said, I've been doing a lot of shit. One of these items is in Vault 11, which we've already done and are not allowed to pick. The other is in Helios 1, which I've also already done and am not allowed to pick. You guys are seeing like 15% of the content I've done for this playthrough. I apologize, I really do, but there's just not enough time to cover everything I did. But since it's relevant, I will tell you, yes, I did Helios 1, I sided with the follower of Apocalypse Dude and diverted the power to Freeside instead of the NCR. Very good quest, I just don't have time to cover everything, I'm sorry. Anyway, we don't have much choice for this quest, so we're forced to go with the pulse gun. Our only lead for it is in Nellis Air Base, and luckily I'm liked by the boomers because I did about half of their quest line. We scoop up the lead and discover the pulse gun is in Vault 34, home of the boomers. This vault is heavily irradiated. Luckily, I'm wearing power armor, which has some resistances, but you could easily get lost down here. It's also horrifying. Uh-oh. The general story of this vault is the boomers wanted to thin the herd so they could survive longer. Basically, Thanos snapped half of their own vault's population with machine guns. The Overseer locks down the arsenal, which pissed off the residents. This vault's experiment was basically just America. Everyone had guns and were pissed when they were taken away. Anyway, there was this big fight, and they damaged the reactor badly enough that the vault dwellers still living inside slowly transformed into ghouls. This vault was really hard to figure out blind. I try and stay away from internet guides if possible for these videos, and it took me over an hour to figure out my way around down here. Regardless, we get to the armory, find some cool guns and ammo, and head back to the Brotherhood of Steel. As hard as Veronica tries, she just can't convince the Elder to change his way. She's helpless to save her family and friends despite all the effort and struggle she went through. We also almost get jumped by some of her friends, but with a fat speech check of 95, we're able to defuse the situation. Why didn't anyone tell me speech is like the best stat in this game? The amount of cool stuff you unlock is unreal. Last thing I want to do is check out the other vaults of this game, as I feel they are generally the best world-building content the Fallout franchise offers. One is just a hotel, which is a little disappointing. Its experiment was the residents solved all their problems with gambling. The other, Vault 19, is a different story. Vault 19 is currently overrun with powder gangers who are for some reason friendly, despite my previous run-ins with the faction. The quest here, Why Can't We Be Friends, involves the player siding with one side or the other of this little group. One leader wants to turn himself and his gang into the NCR for a better quality of life. The other wants to make a shit ton of explosives and join the Great Khans. I decide to help the guy who wants to turn himself in, but my explosive skills aren't high enough. While venturing into this dungeon, however, I uncovered poetically the experiment of Vault 19, which kind of matches the quest we're doing right now. The original inhabitants of the vaults were split into blues and reds, basically a Crips and Bloods situation. The vault would play little noises or try to provoke the dwellers and eventually drove them all insane, convinced the other faction was up to something. I didn't find any mention of what happens to them. Seems like the powder gangers just moved in and it was already abandoned. I didn't see any corpses or anything, so maybe they just left. Anyway, since I can't do this side of the quest for this guy, I decided to do the flip side for the other dude. All we have to do is kill some geckos, and since the Khans already love me, it was easy to convince them to let the gangers join up. I do some more side content, grab 2 or 3 levels and a shit ton of ammo, but we are well over 30 hours of playtime, and I think it's fitting to start wrapping up the adventure. We head to Yes Man and let him know we're ready to head to Hoover Dam. He says we have 2 options. We can either destroy the dam or reawaken another army of Securitrons by diverting the power, the one we awakened way back at the start of the game. We don't have to pick now, but we do have to first install him into the dam's interface. And just like that, the final act of the game begins. Whoa, these guys have cool armor. Get him, Veronica! Veronica just decapitated that guy. Yeah, so we are kind of allied with the NCR, even though we're probably going to end up pushing them out of here, which is weird, but interesting. After mowing through some of the Legion, we make our way into the dam and pass a skill check to bamboozle the guards. With Yes Man installed, I decide to increase the power of my own army and send the power to the fort. I did find it odd. At no point did the NCR attack me during this mission. I guess they're under the guise that I'm helping them get rid of the Legion, but it still didn't make a whole lot of sense. Everyone in this plant would know I diverted the power. On top of that, we're diverting the power to a Legion fort. Of course, it's for our own purposes, but the NCR should assume I betrayed them in some degree. Oh well. We do get a cool view of the dam, though. This is a pretty cool vantage point of Hoover Dam. I've been here in real life. It looks pretty close. I mean, obviously this is a different timeline, but the water level when I went last time was so low, they said it was like the lowest it had ever been, and it was like dangerously low. Ah, look at the Legion's camp. It's on fire. How do I get over there? My Securitrons are giga-busted OP and basically blow up everything. I did not have to do much until this guy.
And who are you to come before me?
Who the fuck is this guy? This guy looks cool as hell. Maybe you're willing to listen to reason? I don't really want to speech check this guy. I kind of want to fuck him up and get that armor. That looks cool as hell. Whoa, that guy's tanky. That guy's tanky. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. I've been holding this all game. Fat Man, mini nuke. Oh, I killed myself. Oops. I thought that was a cutscene or something, the way it went white. All right, it's fine, it's fine. I got him. Blade of the East. Well, I do get his mask. This is a pretty cool looking mask. Okay, I am interested to see what happens if I do speech check this guy. The NCR's weakness is its size. It'll take your entire army to hold the West.
That does not mean we would not succeed.
Holy shit, how many speech 100 checks are there? There's victory and wisdom.
As for wisdom, there is wisdom in your words, man of the West.
I feel like this one is the Giga Chad thing to say, though. Like, yeah, I'll meet you on the battlefield one day, Leggett. Fuck it, I'm gonna say that one.
Then until our return, true to Kaiser.
I mean, that was really cool. That was definitely cooler than just killing him. Like, having that conversation philosophically about, like, the costs of war and how maybe it's not the best to come over here. And one day, I will meet him in the battlefield once again and gun him down with my minigun. That was definitely the coolest way to do that interaction. Oh my god. It's the NCR. It's those guys from the box art of Fallout New Vegas. Holy shit, aura walk, dude. Could you walk any slower? Hold that thought, General. I want to introduce you to some friends.
These boys with you?
Oh! Securitrons erase the NCR from this area. No. I'm not going to do that to them and let the Legion guy get off scot-free. We'll try and be diplomatic to both of these guys.
I would sooner spit on the grave of my dead mother than let some courier walk the wasteland fuck.
What the hell? Why is he so aggressive now? How about I ask these robots to fuck you and your entire battalion with a rocket barrage? I mean, I gotta pick that one.
You want me to make tracks out of here? Head back west? Tail between our legs?
Bluff because you're talking and not attacking. It's a speech 100 check to call his bluff? This seems like... Okay, I guess we'll pick it and see what happens.
Yeah.
How was it easier to negotiate with the Caesar's Legion guy than this guy? Like, why is... What's going on here? I feel like that's backwards.
Fine. Come on, men. We're moving out.
You
You did a super job wrapping things up, and I'm not just saying that because I have to.
I get my final cutscene, which was over 5 minutes, by the way, and quite impressive. This is really cool. It's recapping like every little side quest I've done. Well, not every single one, but most of them.
Because war never changes.
Classic Fallout line. Wow, that was a really cool finale. Congratulations on completing Fallout New Vegas. But with that comes the end of my very first ever completion of Fallout New Vegas. Now, we're gonna get into the review portion. Get your fucking fingers ready to fight me in the comments. I'm sure I'm gonna say some things you don't agree with. But keep in mind, this game released when I was like in grade 2. It's pretty old and definitely feels old, but I'm coming at this from a younger perspective with no nostalgia, alright? New Vegas is the best RPG I've played from Bethesda. I know it wasn't actually Bethesda, it was Obsidian, but you get what I'm saying. It nails the RPG factor better than any game I've played on this channel. You could play it 4 times over and each run have a completely different experience. Every town I visited, every quest I did, every NPC I interacted with had multiple options. There is so much player agency. There are so many ways to play. Now that I've actually completed this game for the first time, I finally understand the scope of how liquid the storytelling and relationships are. Speaking of, the companion system is fantastic. More specifically, their quests and relationships with you and the factions occupying the world. Both the companions I used leaned pretty heavily into the Brotherhood of Steel, but I did also use Boone, and his quest is great, and Lily is also hilarious. If you guys can let me know in the comments how many followers there are and which one is your favorite, I'll try and pick up some new ones for the DLC video if we do hit that 15,000 like goal. I'm glad you guys kind of convinced me to play the Yes Man story path. There's so many minor factions to interact with. I absolutely would have missed some of these on my own. You can also still do content for the NCR and Legion, and before the final assault, I was liked by both of them. I had a positive relationship with almost every faction in the game, not including the Fiends and the Powder Gangers. In the background, you're seeing what my map looked like after this run. I even took the perk to show me where everything was, and I think it's fair to say I checked out about 80% of the world. If there was a quest tied to a location, I made sure to do them. There are so many great quests in this game. If I included every piece of content I did, this video would be like 3 hours long. I do apologize, some stuff just simply didn't make the cut. Speech, though, is by far and away the best skill in this game. It opens up so many doors to new possibilities. I don't think I will ever play this game again without speech being one of the first stats I set to 100. Lastly, for my praises, I think the humor in this game is very good. Some games, new titles specifically, try to do humor and it just comes off as cringy, or you can't even tell it's trying to make a joke. Even Elder Scrolls games don't really nail this. Fallout New Vegas had me legitimately laughing at some of the stuff the NPCs say. The voice acting is also phenomenal too, so the delivery is almost always perfect. This game was a blast to play. However, of course, there are some concessions that need to be made. First off, this game is nearly unplayable without fixes on Windows 11. I'm happy to chalk that up to an age thing. New Vegas is, by definition, a retro game as of this year. 15 years is the cutoff, so that may be sad for some of you to hear. Sorry about that, but it is old and absolutely shows its age. I'm pretty sure even in 2010, when this game dropped, there was a massive controversy around the performance. But Viva New Vegas fixes all of that if you plan to try this game this decade. Again, that praise goes to Viva, not New Vegas itself. It's not as bad as Redguard. That game literally should not be sold at all in the state it's in, but New Vegas is probably the second worst performing Bethesda game I've ever played on this channel. It's pretty bad. Another thing that's a little dated is the gunplay. Bethesda is not known for great combat, and this combat is pulled straight from Fallout 3. Nothing changed. Fallout 4, which I've tried, and for all its flaws, has good gunplay. It feels fun to play. New Vegas just doesn't. The only redeeming quality of the combat is the VAT system, which is great. I would say it feels awkward because of its age, but 2010 was a golden age for shooters. I wasn't allowed to play any since I was in elementary school, but Black Ops 1, Halo Reach, Battlefield, there were so many legendary shooters on the market back then. Even in 2010, this combat couldn't have been good. There's lots of weapon variety, and I think there's also a DLC that lets you customize your guns, but the shooter aspect of this game falls pretty flat in my opinion. They literally just copy and pasted Fallout 3's. Say what you will about Elder Scrolls, the combat changes a fair amount between the games. For better or for worse is up to you, but there is change. I've already kind of spoken about the open world and points of interest and how I feel like Fallouts are strictly worse than the Elder Scrolls in every facet imaginable. I did a significant chunk of the map, not just ran up to and unlocked. Every dungeon, camp, outpost you see here, I fully completed. Of course, there are great areas with actual world building, but most of the open world is a waste of time to explore, which is not something you want to say for any open world title. You can actually see on the map where I gave up and stopped exploring as much. As I progressed from the south to the north, I was just like, who cares? There's a 20% chance each location isn't just a garbage pile with some ammo scattered around. Sometimes I was pleasantly surprised, like with Jacobstown. That was a really cool hidden gem with 2 or 3 quests, but 80% of the open world is just dreadful. Besides the stability, gunplay, and open world, my only other criticism of Fallout New Vegas is the community. 10% of the fanbase are normal, employed people with a human brain. The other 90% are some of the most degenerative individuals I've ever seen walk the internet. Here in the Elder Scrolls community, we josh around with one another. You got the Morrow Boomers, the Obliviates, the Sky Babies, but we coexist. Fallout fans are fucking insane. They hate each other, especially New Vegas fans. If you don't say this game is the best game you've ever played, you're not a real human being to them. You're a fucking ghoul or some shit. And guess what? This isn't the best game I've played, not even top 5. If we narrow it down to RPGs only, yeah, it makes the cut. This is a fantastic game, but it's old. It has problems. It's not a perfect product, despite what some of you may believe. Now, crucify me all you want. I think that's a completely rational opinion to have, but there will be some people in the comments that take personal offense. I don't think this is the greatest game of all time. All of this being said, I know a fair chunk of my audience is a bit younger like myself, and I would thoroughly recommend trying New Vegas if you haven't already. The physical gameplay is a little dated, yes, but the overall design of the world, factions, relationships, and pure choice you have as a player far outweighs any weaknesses. This game goes on sale for like $3. You're out of your mind if you don't think that's worth it. Make sure to get it on Steam though. You will likely need mods and stability patches, and Steam is just the easiest to work with. If you guys would like to see a video of me covering the DLCs as thoroughly as I can, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. 15,000 likes and I promise you there will be another episode. Either I'll cram them all into one massive video, or maybe split them up into smaller projects. Huge thanks, as usual, to all my YouTube members who support me and the channel directly. If you'd like early access to videos, exclusive content, and polls to vote on the games I cover next, consider joining the channel. It's completely optional, but I appreciate it all the more. I've been Frostbreak, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.